What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. My name is Day Reed, and today we're going to be doing a simple destruction warlock guide for the Undermined patch. This video will be mainly focused on raiding. Actually, it'll be completely focused on raiding. So when we go over our stats, our best in slot, our talents, and like our abilities and our rotation, that kind of stuff, it'll be all focused around raiding. I will have multiple talent trees to go over, and my AoE talent tree is also a part of, it's also the same talent tree you would use for Mythic Plus and Dungeons. So if you want to stick around and see that, I will put a little time code in the description. But this will be a raid focus video for people who are wondering. And like I said before, everything's gonna be down in the description. So everything I go over today, stat, priority, as well as best in slot, things like that, that will all be down below. If you want to copy and paste a string for talents, you can copy and paste that, import into the game. It'll be all in the description. So everything I go over today in this video will be all in the description down below. That being said, jumping right into everything. The first thing is, because it's very quick and easy to go over, we're going to be going over our stats as well as our best in slot. So going over our stats real quick, no matter what you're doing, whether you're going Hellcaller or Diabolist, I always go Diabolist. So just keep that in mind, that for all my talents and everything, I'm all focused around Diabolist. But for both of Hellcaller and Diabolist, your stat priority will go Intellect, Haste, and Crit are equal, Mastery, and then Versatility. All right, so for our best in slot part of this video, I'm going to go boss by boss. I feel like it's easier to kind of break down what to look for every boss. I will kind of edit it and Photoshop it or whatever on the screen and kind of put it next to, you know, the different slots on here, kind of make it easier to visualize. For Vexy, now if you want to go one-hander and offhand, the sword here, the Blastfurious Machete, is the best one. There's a dagger that drops too. I believe that the crit haste of this sword, it has a little bit less intellect. I know intellect is more important, or is the most important thing. You lose about I think it's like 11,000 on the dagger. But just having the crit and the haste stat, I think, is way better as far as if you're going to go offhand and one-hander. You will also get the best in slot for the bag piece. Will also be this Undercircuit racing flag. It is also a best in slot piece for you to get as well. Now, for the Cauldron of Carnage. So these guys will drop your chest piece that you need. This will be like your tier set. And then they will also drop the Superfan's Beater Buzzer. This will be your best in slot for offhand. So again, if you're trying to go for the one-hand and offhand, this will be the offhand you will want as far as that goes. Then they will also drop the Faded Championship Ring. You got this crit and haste, beautiful ring here. It's another best in slot piece for you as well. Going into Rick Reverb. So this actually has a lot of best in slot gear. So your shoulders, neck, and wrist best in slot will all drop from Rick Reverb. So the Semi-Charmed Amulet and the Underparty Admission Bracelet, all three of these are best in slot gear for you. Next, going to Styx, he is dropping your leg piece, and that's basically it. Again, this is the other one-hander, the dagger, but I feel like the haste mastery is not as good as the crit haste on the sword. So the only best in slot here is going to be the Dreadful Rusty Galley-Books, this thing that you can turn into your tier piece. Next, going into Sprocketmonger, he will drop your chest piece. He will also drop the Alphacoil staff. So if you would rather go with the two-hander, the Alphacoil is your best in slot piece for you for your weapon. So this will drop your chest, your staff if you want to go that way. And then also will drop your best in slot waist, which is the Refiner's Conveyor Belt. So the one-armed bandit will drop your headpiece, and then that's basically it. The House of Cards is a pretty decent trinket. I don't think it's your best in slot trinket, but the headpiece will drop from the one-armed bandit. Then going to Moxie, this will drop your best in slot for your feet. And then going into this last piece here, we have the Golden Handshakers, Eye of Kezan, and the Jastor Diamond are all best in slot pieces for Destruction Warlock. So that's kind of the breakdown. I will kind of just edit. Let me just do this. I will kind of put up on the screen here. I'll do a little edit and I'll kind of Photoshop things in place for you guys to kind of look at that. Again, down in the description down below, everything will be there for you. And that is basically it for your best in slot. All right, next going into our talents. So I'm going to go over single target, cleave, and our AoE / Mythic Plus dungeon talents. So the first thing I'll go over is our single target. Now, our single target and our cleave only have one talent that changes. So I'm going to go over basic stuff. I'm not going to go over every single talent. If you don't know talents, the circles are passive, the squares are abilities that you unlock. So I will go over basically abilities, ability choices, as well as like the choice nodes basically for everything. So I'll go over the Diabolus thing first, just because it's very quick and easy. So we'll be going with the Soul Edge circles, as well as the Infernal Machine, and then the Infernal Vitality. Then going into our Warlock talents, we will be picking up the Fell Domination. That's basically the 3-minute cooldown that gives a 90% reduction on summoning a pet. Then we will be using our Burning Rush, as well as improving our Burning Rush with the Fiendish Stride. We will be going with the Curse of Enfeeblement, which unlocks your Curse of Tongues and your Curse of Exhaustion. Curse of Tongues basically increases the cast time of spells, or cast, I guess is the best way to put it. And then the Curse of Exhaustion will decrease movement speed on a target. We will be going with the Demonic Circle and the Mortal Coil. Mortal Coil will launch out this magic ability, and it will cause like a little, it'll basically fear the target for 3 seconds, but it'll also give you health back. Obviously Demonic Circle is a teleport, like a station, like you put down a portal and then you run away from it, you can go back to where you placed the portal. Very quick breakdowns there. But then we have Dark Pact, sacrificing 20% of your health for a 200% bubble. Then we're going to be doing Strength of Will. So Unending Resolve reduces damage taken by an additional 15%. We'll be choosing the Frequent Donor of this choice node, which reduces the cooldown of Dark Pact, and everything else. Oh yeah, then we'll have the Soul Burn. You use this ability and it'll have different effects depending on these abilities right here. So it'll affect your Demonic Circle. Your Demonic Gateway can be an instant cast. Demonic Circle increases your movement speed after you use it. Health Funnel restores more to your pets. Healthstone increases the healing of your Healthstone. So it just has these different effects to it. As far as destruction goes, so obviously Conflagrate, you have to pick that one on clearly. Then we're going to be using the point in place Rain of Fire. We'll be going with the Roaring Blaze, and we're going to be going with Cataclysm. It's another point in place. When you put it down, it will do kind of like a big amount of damage in an area, an AoE ability, but it also will apply your Immolate to everything that's in that circle. Then, unlike, I believe, my last video, we're going to be dropping our Shadow Burn. We're going to be going with the Summoner's Embrace. Increases the damage dealt by your spells and your demon by 3%. And then instead of doing Shadow Burn this time, we're going to be switching over to our channel Demon Fire. And basically how this works is whatever enemies have Immolate on them, this will basically shoot out little fire missiles at whatever has Immolate on it. If it doesn't have Immolate on it, it won't get hit by this. Which is why it kind of pairs very well with your Cataclysm, right? You can put a bunch of Immolates on people, and this will hit more enemies. We'll be going with the Summon Infernal. It's basically our burst window. And then we will also be going with the Crashing Chaos. So Summon Infernal increases the damage of your next 8 casts of Chaos Bolt by 25%, or your next 8 casts of Rain of Fire by 35%. We'll be also going with Reverse Entropy. Spells have a chance to grant you 15% haste for 8 seconds. And then we'll be going with Soulfire, which obviously we'll only be using whenever we get the proc for it. That's basically it. Next, going into our Cleave. The only thing that changes with Cleave, by the way, is we drop our Burn to Ashes, and we replace that. I'll show you. We're replacing that with our, can't think of the ability off the top of my head, but it's a passive ability. We're going to be going with Mayhem. So Mayhem, so these are basically the same thing. They both work with Havoc. So you can either choose to have Havoc, which will make it so you have to choose a target and click it, and it basically adds a button to your bars. Mayhem, basically, your single target spells have a 35% chance to apply Havoc to a nearby enemy for 5 seconds, which is very, very nice. So if you're in a situation where you have a boss fight that has more than one boss, I guess you could say, or more than one target in that boss fight, this is a very good thing to have for Cleave. The only difference here is, I believe, with Havoc, it's a 30-second cooldown, but the Havoc lasts for 15 seconds, where this only lasts for 5 seconds. But Mayhem, like, this thing pops up all the time. So I feel like you get more than 15 seconds, or more than 15 seconds within like a 30-second cooldown. I don't know. It's very like close. I would say it's pretty similar, actually. I just think it makes it easier to it applies Havoc on for you, and it's a very nice and easy passive ability. And then for our AoE and Mythic Plus, you can see a few things changing here. So we're dropping the Fiendish Stride for Shadow Fury. So that's going to be like a AoE stun. And then we're picking up Fire and Brimstone, which is very nice. This will basically make it to where your Incinerate shoots out basically like it basically hits every target that's in front of you. There's a reduced damage on it, but if you have more than like 3 or 4 targets, you're basically hitting above that 25. You're making up for it. And then we're also, let me just make sure I see what I'm doing here. So yeah. So you can see some of the changes here. I kind of want to make sure I'm hitting everything correctly. Yeah, we're keeping the Mayhem, and then we're going with Dimension Ripper. Periodic damage dealt by Immolate has a 5% chance to tear open a dimensional rift, and then we're getting this Unstoppable Rift. Bolts from Dimensional Rift now deal 25% of damage dealt to nearby enemies as fire damage. So that's basically the talents that we're going to be rocking with. Now, as far as our abilities and rotation, I feel like the best way to go over our rotation is to kind of understand what abilities do and kind of go from there. I don't want to give you guys like a, hit 1, then 3, then 2, then 4, then 1, then, kind of doing this like, I don't want to put rotation like that. I want to put rotation as, this is what this ability does. This is when you want to use it. So kind of going over our basic toolbars here. Okay. So our main rotation is going to make up of 4 abilities here. Okay. This will be our main rotation. So Immolate puts a dot on the target. That's what you want to make sure you have up at all times. Always have this up on the target. Incinerate is your filler. That's what you're using when nothing else is available to you, or when you don't need to apply any more dots. Your Conflag is explosive damage, but it also reduces the cast time of your Incinerate or your Chaos Bolt. So it's good to, basically, I will say this, there's 2 stacks of this. You want to try and keep this at 0. Also, try to keep in mind that this Incinerate, I personally would use this to set up your Chaos Bolts. So if you have, say, 4 shards available to you, you can hit Conflagrate. You can either hit Conflagrate, Conflagrate twice back to back, or you can hit Conflagrate, Chaos Bolt, Conflagrate, Chaos Bolt, because it keeps that Chaos Bolt like a quick cast. Because obviously your Chaos Bolt, this is like your big, strong, like your right hook, right? This is your strong swing. So this will use up your soul shards. This is going to be where most of your damage is coming from. I mean, the Warlock rotation is basically setting up your Chaos Bolt. Now, so again, this is your dot, keep that up. Incinerate is your filler, and your Conflagrate is basically your setup into your Chaos Bolt, and your Chaos Bolt is your heavy hitter. That's where most of your damage is coming from. Then, you have your Cataclysm. Now, you can use Cataclysm instead of Immolate if you want to. Just keep in mind this is a 30-second cooldown. But this will have that, I think, a bigger additional hit. So this one, like I said, causes 100,000 damage basically off of that initial damage. This one will be dealing 215,000. So if you want to use this as a point in place, and kind of, use Cataclysm and then use Immolate, keep up the dot until Cataclysm comes back up, you can do that as well. Your Rain of Fire is your AoE. So if you're in your AoE spec, or your AoE talent, your Rain of Fire and your Incinerator can be like, put it this way, Cataclysm, Rain of Fire, and Incinerate, if you're in the AoE talent tree, will be your AoE abilities, basically. Otherwise, it's just going to be your Cataclysm and your Rain of Fire. Those will basically be your main. And then also like your Channel Demon Fire will also be a good AoE as well. Let's see. Your Summon Infernal is your burst window. You're going to be doing the most damage in this window, so try to pair this well with hero like raid-wide burst. That gets dropped. But you want to use this like as many times as possible. I would probably just open with this as far as in the raid, because if you can get this, if you can use this 2-3 times in a fight, that's going to be very good for your damage. Making sure you have your Hellstones for healing, using your teleportation, or using your teleports wisely, using Gateway and Demonic Circle, as well as your Burning Rush. That's gonna be where your movement is coming from. And obviously your defensives will be your Unending Resolved and your Dark Pact. These are going to be very, very important for you. Again, I try to keep things very simple for you guys. This guide's supposed to help people who are either new to the game or playing a lot of alts or whatever it is. You just need a quick and easy kind of like thing to pick up on so you know what to do. So that's basically what I have for you guys today as far as this guide. Again, I try to keep it short, simple, easy to understand. Not a super in-depth video. If you guys want to see me do like a bigger breakdown, I can try my best to do that. But I try my best to just kind of give you guys an easy to understand, like no nonsense video. And that's what I hopefully did for you guys today. I hope this video helped you. And thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below and I will try to get back to you. And if I don't, maybe somebody else will. Please also leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 1,000 subs. So that would be awesome if you guys did that for me. That is it for today's guide. I hope this helped, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.